Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Dragon Farming Guide. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom carries over many features and mechanics from its predecessor. Among them are the incredible serpentine dragons that roam the skies above Hyrule. Just like in Breath of the Wild, you can obtain materials from these fantastical beings to power yourself up before big battles. There are a few major and minor changes that have been made to this system for Tears of the Kingdom, and we're going to cover them in this ultimate guide to dragon farming. Dragon Farming 101. Before we get into a more specific breakdown, there are a few important things to know. If you engage in any kind of dragon-based interactions in Breath of the Wild, you'll know that there are 3 dragons that each have their own territory. In Breath of the Wild, the dragons would roam that path at a specific time each day and then disappear. In Tears of the Kingdom, there's an additional dragon to find, and every dragon is on the map at all times, instead of disappearing at the end of their patrol. If you can't find a dragon in the sky, they're probably swimming through the depths. This makes the job of farming them much easier. However, there is a 10-minute recharge time after a resource is taken. I know that's a long time to wait around standing on a dragon when there are so many other things to do in Tears of the Kingdom, but that's the price of being a dedicated dragon part farmer. Each dragon produces spikes, scales, claws, horns, and fangs. The way you obtain each part is by firing an arrow at a specific part of the dragon, and then snatching it out of the sky or following its light trail until it hits the ground. Scales come from the main body, claws from the feet, fangs from the mouth, and horns from the head, which are new resources introduced in Tears of the Kingdom. Those can be found in groups of up to 12 pieces all along each dragon's back, nestled in the crevices from the halfway point up to the head. Spikes will also take longer to regenerate than other parts. Here's a quick rundown of what each part is useful for. Additionally, you'll also need dragon parts to upgrade certain armor sets at Great Fairy Mountains across the map. Now let's talk about these fantastic dragons and where to find them. Dinraal, the Fire Dragon. Dinraal is the Great Fire Spirit Dragon. It can always be found in the northeastern part of the map, where it patrols from the East Akala Plains Chasm to just north of the Great Hyrule Forest, before it retreats into the Drennan Highlands Chasm. Being the Great Fire Spirit, Dinraal emits extreme heat, so you'll need plenty of heat-resistant foods and elixirs, or the Flamebreaker armor to withstand that heat. The dragon will also produce fireballs that can hurt you if you don't avoid them, so keep an eye out for that. Pro tip: if you fall off a dragon or just want to goof off while you wait for parts to regenerate, you can take advantage of the updrafts that surround each of their bodies to gain some altitude with your paraglider. Farosh, the Lightning Dragon. Farosh is the Great Lightning Spirit Dragon. You'll be able to find it lighting up the skies across the Gerudo Desert and over Lake Hylia before it retreats into the hills of Balmer Chasm to pass underneath the Faring Grasslands. To properly farm Farosh, you're going to need the Lightning Helm from the 𝐦𝐨𝐬 clan quest, or an upgraded rubber armor set to gain the Shockproof set bonus. Like Dinraal, Farosh also attempts to attack you with projectiles of his element. Get hit with one of those and you'll be paralyzed as you tumble through the sky, so be careful. Pro tip: snap a picture of each dragon as you come across them. Doing this will add them to your compendium, which you can then use to track them once you have the Sensor Plus upgrade. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of time. Naydra, the Ice Dragon. Naydra is the Great Ice Spirit Dragon. This frosty piece of work surveys the skies from the East Hill Chasm to the Naydra Snowflake Chasm. Its path passes by Kakariko Village, East Necluda, and Hateno Village before it retreats to the depths to pass underneath Trotter's Downfall and Rabia Plain. Camping out of Naydra to farm it means that you'll have to deal with the chilliest of temperatures. It'll be best to hold off on doing this until you have the full Snowquill armor set, which is guaranteed to keep you warm. Alternatively, you could build up a stock of cold-resistant foods made with hot peppers to brave the cold. Naydra will also chuck balls of ice at you, so make sure to stay out of their way. Pro tip: get close to whichever dragon part you're collecting before you shoot a bow at it. It's possible to collect the resource before it falls off, saving you a skydiving trip to the surface. The Light Dragon. Oh boy, the Light Dragon. This one is very tricky and almost impossible to get to in the early game because it flies much higher in the sky than any of the other dragons. Seriously, even if you're on a sky island hunting for the Light Dragon, you'll probably still have better luck finding it looking up than down. In making this guide, I encountered it at almost 2,000 meters. It also circles the entire map. I found the best way to find it is to launch out of Skyview Towers until you have it in your sights. This new dragon is very important to the story of Tears of the Kingdom for reasons that I won't discuss due to spoilers, but you can still farm it for the same resources as the other dragons. Unlike the other dragons, the light dragon doesn't have any kind of elemental obstacle to overcome to get on top of it, although you will still probably need the snow quill armor depending on where you find it on the map. Pro tip: if you want to know where the light dragon is at all times, take on the Recovering the Hero's Sword quest in 𝐸 Forest. This will keep the light dragon tagged, allowing you to easily find it. If I could go back in time, I would use my time wisely to farm the light dragon at this point before completing the quest. Conclusion: that's all you need to know about dragon farming in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's far from the most difficult thing you'll do in the game, but the time investment definitely pays off. Just remember to equip the necessary elemental protection when it's called for, and you're good to go.